Hi, I'm Deb. I'm the Environment Agency's Flood and Coastal Risk Management Officer for the Isle of Wight. And I'm going to explain to you how the flood alleviation scheme at Monktonmead works. Simian wreck is used to store water if we have an overtopping event from the Monktonmead River. The water will come into the recreation ground and be stored inside the recreation ground. Following on from the flood in 2023, we had problems with surface water accumulating outside the wall, the flood wall, and we have now installed one-way valves to ensure that this doesn't happen again. The water is now allowed into the recreation ground, and this happens both through the valves we've installed in the wall all the way around, as well as in the drop boards themselves. The bottom 2 or 3 drop boards now have one-way valves in them to allow the surface water in. So the recreation ground actually holds surface water as well as fluvial flooding from Monktonmead Brook in the event of an overtopping event. So one of the improvements we've made is one-way valves into the drop boards that we deploy. So this will allow the surface water to enter the recreation ground, and due to the water pressure, once the water gets high enough, that then closes them shut and forms a seal. This is Monktonmead Brook. The river levels change according to tides. We're very tidally influenced, and when the tide is high, the river is tide locked, so it cannot discharge into the sea. The way we get over this is there's a tidal valve down at the pumping station that closes, and on a certain level trigger the pumps will kick in and the water is then pumped over the top of the tidal valve and out to sea. During a severe weather event or a very, very high tide and the pumps become overwhelmed, then the river will overtop and go into Simian wreck. Due to the fact that Monktonmead Brook is tidally influenced, we have monitoring equipment or telemetry equipment to measure the river levels. This will alert us in the event of high river levels, and we can then look on the cameras to see whether or not this is caused by debris being caught in the debris screen, which is just behind me. In events where the debris screen is blocked, we will send somebody out to unblock it. If it is the river level that is high, then the pumps down at the pumping station will kick in and start over pumping water out to sea. So we're now at Ryde Harbour. This is where the Monktonmead Brook discharges into the sea. We've made improvements here to the debris screen that now lifts up as opposed to opens outwards, because we were finding problems with the gates having to open outwards and the debris was getting trapped behind those. So even during high flows we can now lift the gates up using this cranked mechanism, and the debris flows freely out of the outlet. We also have a camera trained on this area to alert us to any build-up of debris, and we can get somebody down here to lift the gates, get rid of the debris, and it flows freely.